Good afternoon, Dr. Walton. This is Donna Roper-Roach. For this assignment, we've been asked to conduct an analysis of an article and show evidence of adherence to format requirements in the 7th edition of the APA Publication Manual. I selected a study by Shawana Marshall entitled Experiences of Female African-American Educators when Seeking Leadership Positions, and I will email you a copy of her work. The article was written in 2024 during the time of publication of the 7th edition of the APA format, which has been in effect since 2020. My analysis looks at the article's general format and guidelines of the 7th edition, the title page, the abstract, and the references. And these are 4 components of the 6 major formatting requirements in the 7th edition of the APA Publication Manual. Let's see here. In terms of general format, the article was double-spaced and typed. The article was PDF, but appears as if it was on standard size paper, 8.5 by 11, and had 1-inch margins on all sides. The article included a page header, but not throughout. For professional paper, while the APA manual does not specify a single font or set of fonts for professional writing, it does recommend a few fonts that are widely available, and it appears that Miss Marshall's font was Times New Roman 12. Okay, let's look at the title page. The title page, APA 7 provides a slightly different direction for formatting the title page. The title of the paper should be in upper and lowercase letters, and it should be centered in the middle half of the page. And Marshall's work adhered to that guideline. The title of the paper should be centered horizontally on the page, and it was not centered. The title was not centered horizontally on the title page. The title should be written in boldface. She did a good job there. The title should be focused and succinct, and it should not contain abbreviations or words that serve no purpose. And she did an excellent job there. The title may take up 1 or 2 lines and should be double spaced. The title did not exceed 2 lines. The title page included the author's name, institution affiliation, but it did not contain the institution location. It did not contain an author's note, which is not required for this paper. The student paper should have included the course number and name. It should have included the instructor's name and an assignment due date. It did not include either of those. Let's take a look at the abstract. Abstracts, as you know, are common in scholarly journal articles and are not typically required for student papers unless advised by an instructor. And in this case, there was an abstract, and the abstract began on a new page, which is one of the requirements. An abstract page should already include the page header, and it did not. The first line of the abstract page should be centered and bold, the word abstract. And the word abstract was centered in the center of the page, but it was not bold. So that was one area where she got a little bit of a demerit. A concise summary of the key points of the research should be included, The abstract should contain at least one the research topic, research questions, participants, methods, results, data analysis, and conclusions. It could also include possible implications of the research and future work if there are any connections with the findings. And Ms. Marshall did a good job with that. The abstract should be a single paragraph. She definitely adhered to that. It was double-spaced and it did not exceed 250 words. In fact, her abstract was exactly 231 words. In an abstract, you can list keywords from your paper. Ms. Marshall did not have any keywords. Let's take a look quickly at the reference list. There were a total of 36 references in the study. There were 13 citations that were attributed to a single author. And Ms. Marshall followed the guidelines for those citations. There were 12 citations attributed to 2 authors. And she followed the guidelines for those works. And then she had 3 citations for 3 or more persons listed, the work was attributed to, and she followed the guidelines there. She had 4 citations that were attributed to an organization. For example, one was the Department of Education, U.S. Department of Education. She correctly cited those particular studies. And then she had 1 personal communication. And I believe it was a Zoom meeting, or a Zoom interview. And she followed the guidelines there. So overall, she did an excellent job. There were 1 or 2 areas where she made some slight diversions, but I think that the study was did pretty much follow the general APA guidelines, the title page guidelines, the abstract, and the reference guidelines. Thank you very much, Dr. Walton. Have a good evening.